All right, so what's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy. And before we get this video started, I gotta let y'all know that anything you see in this video is subject to change when the update goes live, presumably next week on the 26th or the 27th, depending on where you are in the world. Keep in mind, this is Star Agent Early Access. This is just a beta test build, so anything you see in regards to new characters and new uniforms can be changed when the update goes live next week. And I keep repeating myself because I don't want anyone to misconstrue anything they see here, because it's not final. It could be changed. Characters can be buffed, uniforms can be buffed, they can be nerfed, anything can happen. This is just to give you guys a small taste of what is coming later this month. That being said, boys, let's get to it. Also, for any of you guys going to ask me, this is only available for Star Agents right now. This is not the live server. I always get people asking me, how are you able to play? Guys, this is just a test build sent to me by Netmarble so I can test out the characters and give feedback and show you guys what is coming this month. That being said, boys, we got to talk about it because I know, as always, you guys want to see new characters, the uniforms, all that good stuff. But before we dive into that, we got to take a look at some of the new content, you dig, coming in 5.6. 2 new World Boss Ultimate Stages, 1 for Cable and 1 for Apocalypse. We all saw this coming, right? Because in the last update, we got new uniforms for Pietro and Wanda, and they got their World Boss Ultimate Stages. However, something new is also coming in this update besides, right, the new World Boss Ultimate Stages. And that's actually this thing right here, Conqueror, right? Now, you guys may be wondering, what the heck is this? Is this like Conqueror Hockey from One Piece? Well, kinda, maybe, depending on how you look at it. But basically, it's just new challenges for you to complete to get really good rewards. And it just keeps getting better and better and better and better as you go along. The cool thing about this is it's rewarding you for doing things that you would be doing regardless. And it now gives reason for people to push past, like, I don't know, stage 50, where you get the final, like, color of the box, right? Mythic Booty Box can be attained from stage 50 and beyond. But now you have a reason to push to stage 60, 70, 80, 90. And now we also have stage 100, right? Before, there was a cap on World Boss Ultimate, in case you didn't know, right? That made it so you can only go to 99, but apparently now you can get to stage 100, and you can also earn these Valor tokens to bump up your Valor even more, to make the stages easier for you. So it seems like this Conqueror thing, right, will work hand in hand with the Valor system that we currently have. As you can see right here, it's just plus Conqueror, right? It's Valor plus Conqueror, and that's gonna be your new way of like reducing the amount of damage you take in World Boss Ultimate and increasing the amount of damage you do, right? In case you are new to the game, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, right? When it comes to your Valor in World Boss Ultimate, you see right here, for example, it's green, right? It tells me that I have enough Valor to make this stage easier on myself. But as you move up, right, it gets harder, and eventually your Valor will be neutralized. You're not doing as much damage anymore, and you're starting to take more damage. So that's why they're bringing in the Conqueror thing, to help people push even further in World Boss Ultimate. I would have liked a little bit more incentive, like removing the cap from Valor altogether, but nonetheless, this is really good. Okay, now next thing I want to talk about is not in regards to the uniform or the new characters, because you guys know me, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, when it comes to new characters and new uniforms, I get really excited, and sometimes I'll forget some stuff, right? So I want to touch on the stuff first before I touch on the stuff that's going to pull me in and then, like, seriously deviate from what I want to show you guys. Now, I cannot show you guys the full store, right? Because everything you see in there may not come in the game, right? And to be honest, there's not really too much that is new in the store. It's just the standard packages that we see in every update. However, there is one major change coming, and you may be upset about it, so I want to show it to you guys right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. As you can see, the layout for the store is now different. I can show you this page with confidence because I don't think this is going to upset Netmarble in the slightest. I sent them an email. They didn't get back to me, so I assume everything is good. All right. What I want to show you guys is right here. New CTPs. Now, I know the free-to-play community, they're going to get really upset right now, and I'm not going to blame you because many of you guys are already having a hard enough time locking down a CTP of energy, destruction, and rage. With more CTPs in the game, right, you're going to feel like you're falling even further behind. But the thing is, if you take a look at what happened in the last update where they brought in the dimension missions, you can kind of see that this was coming. Because lately, on my own personal account, even when I'm not even trying to, right, I've been able to make 5, 6, 7 or more mythic custom gears per day, not per week. Before, this was like impossible, right? But now you can make so many 6-star obelisks. And I was thinking to myself, why would they be doing this? Simple answer is because this was to make sure that the free-to-play community can catch up a little bit, because honestly, there's nothing in the game that requires you to have a CTP of energy, rage, or none of that. Sure, it will definitely help you get closer to the cap in ABX and push higher in World Boss Ultimate, but ultimately, right? How many times are you gonna say ultimately or ultimate? Anyways, you don't need those items to enjoy the game to its fullest. Those things are only required if you want to go to the absolute extreme of what you can do in Marvel Future Fight. So even though these CTPs are going to upset a little bit of the balance that we have in the game, I don't think in the grand scheme of things, they're going to be that impactful to the free-to-play community. Yes, you're not going to have them if you don't gamble, but ultimately, will you need them? I don't think you necessarily need them, just like how, for now, we still don't need Rage. Maybe later on we'll need these CTPs, but for now, I don't think you do. So let's take a look at these CTPs and I'll give you guys my thoughts, starting with the CTP of Judgment. And the thing is, with this being an Apocalypse update, you kind of see where the CTPs fit in, because CTP stands for Celestial Tech Pack. Obviously, Celestial Tech is what Apocalypse uses to enhance himself, right? He came in, CTPs followed, now he's back, and CTPs are in. So, right here, we have the CTP of Judgment. Increases all attack by 32%, increases chain hit damage by 20%, and then it decreases all resistance by 30%, and, as you can see, increases all elemental damage by 200%. This thing seems like it was made for Lunar Snow, but basically this is for all of the elemental characters that are currently in the game. People have been asking for elemental CTP, when that was gonna happen. This is it, Chief. It will fit every elemental character. Does this make elemental obelisk obsolete? No, but it definitely will make a big impact in terms of just how much damage you're gonna do, because this is gonna give you that elemental factor plus, right, the chain hit from a CTP of energy. Madness. Truly madness. Now we have the CTP of Greed, right? Immunity to guard break, ignore dodge, max HP, increases damage dealt against combat types, blast types, speed types, and universal types by 150% for 5 seconds. This is basically the perfect defensive and offensive CTP at the exact same time. This is basically made for timeline battle. The whales are going to have this. The super ultra mega whales are going to have this. But keep in mind, my friends, there's only one real valuable PvP game mode in Marvel Future Fight for 99% of the player base. That's timeline battle. You're barely going to be impacted by this. And honestly, even if you get impacted by this, you're still going to walk away with all your crystals that you were genuinely getting every week. This is only going to affect the people who play Alliance Tournament and, to some degree, the people who take Alliance Conquest seriously. The rest of us, we're not going to be impacted too heavily by this. Will you encounter it? Yes. Will it like completely shatter the game for you? I don't think so. But ultimately, that's just me. right now I'm neutral. I kind of seen it coming, so that's why I'm not like over the moon taken aback by it, right? But at the exact same time, I don't think it's gonna make that big of an impact. Well, it's gonna make an impact, a noticeable impact, but I don't think it's gonna be like destroying the game anytime soon. Now we have the CTP of Insight, max HP, all defense, and this one is quite interesting. Applies to all allies. Increases increases damage dealt to superhero types by 20%, and the same goes for supervillain type. Applies to all allies. Now you can't have 3 of these and stack them, right? But man, this is crazy. I'm trying to wonder, like, does this mean it's gonna apply to like the 3 characters that you have on your team? Or if you take it into GBR, will this apply to like all of the characters that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still trying to figure out what it means here. Does it mean all allies, as in like your characters on your team, or does it mean if you go into GBR where there's 9 characters, right? Does it apply to all 9 characters? And maybe that's why it says you can't have duplicate coverage. So if 9 people go in to GBR, you can't have 9 of these because that would just be mental, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it means, right? And that's the only one I think that applies to allies. Yeah, everything else applies to self. So I wanted to put this at the beginning of the video because sometimes you guys don't make it to the end, and this is pretty important. So I think you guys need to know about it, okay? Next thing we got to touch on is we got a couple premium cards coming in this update. We thought they were fake, right? Because they didn't come in the last update. They're here now, boys. You can see for yourself. We got one for Crescent. All attack, all defense, max HP, pretty decent. Then we have in the 4th slot here, we have recovery rate, ignore defense, attack speed, and then an ignore defense proc. I guess ignore defense and attack speed is pretty decent. All right, then we have crit rate and crit damage in this slot, not bad. And then the final slot we have energy attack, physical attack, and dodge. Not a bad card overall. Will I be going out of my way to get it? Probably not, but it's a good card nonetheless. Then we have Lunar Snow, energy attack, all attack, and crit rate. Very offensive as to be expected. This is Lunar Snow. And then let's see the 4th slot here. We have ignore defense, physical attack, and cooldown. Then we got an energy attack proc. Kind of sucks when you have to choose between attack and cooldown, but nonetheless, this is going to be a very easy slot to roll something good in. Then we have crit damage, max HP, attack speed. Again, good slot because you have 3 out of 5 options being good there. And then the last one is just all defense. So the last slot is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it could be. Then lastly, we have White Fox. All attack, ignore defense, and critical damage. And then we have all defense and attack speed here with a physical attack proc. That's ideally what you want there. For the 5th slot, we actually have crit rate and dodge, which is actually not bad, but it's going to be pretty annoying to roll for one because the other ones are just lightning resist, recovery rate, and physical defense, which is pretty bad. And in the last slot, we have, okay, that's actually pretty good. Max HP, physical attack, energy attack. That's actually really good. This is a nice card. Overall, the set is going to give you attack speed if you complete it. So that's for you die-hard fans of Lunar Snow, Crescent, and White Fox. So that being said, boys, let's jump into the meat and potatoes, right? Let's take our first look at the new characters because I know that's what you guys want to see. We're going to look at their skills and stuff in a different video. I'm just going to give you guys a general overview of how I feel about them and just how you acquire them. So first and foremost, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Comment down below if you think she's an X-Gene selector. Pause the video. Okay, now, this is how you acquire her. Negasonic Special Training Pack in the Danger Room, just like Rachel Summers. So, probably going to be a super hard, stupidly hard grind to get the character, or you're going to have to shell out some crystals. Don't know the package price just yet. Haven't looked, and honestly, I'm not going to look because it's probably going to get changed, or it's probably not even in the game yet. So, yeah. Just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at her skills. Tier 2 passive, 65% chance to increase critical damage by plus 50%. Okay, Tier 2 passive is really good with the super armor, the all defense, and the damage received. Looking like she can tank a bit. And for a blast character, that's very, very rare. She's a blast type, a energy blast type at that. And yeah, she actually has a very, very surprisingly good, right, Tier 2 passive. This Tier 2 passive is, I would say it's a weaker, actually, He may actually end up being slightly stronger than Namor or Sabretooth's tier 2 passive, because they have a 30%, you can see 30% activation rate, but they do 100% on the critical attacks. It's the same thing for Sabretooth, right? But hers, she has a higher activation rate, but it's just a lower amount of critical damage that's being buffed by. Next, we have the 1 skill, defense down, but it doesn't apply on World Boss, so that doesn't matter. Then we have the 2nd skill, crit rate buff, 15% for 8 seconds on an 8-second cooldown. You can keep that up all the time. That's good. Accumulation here for 10 seconds, 20-second cooldown. Max skill cooldown, you keep that up all the time. That's dope. Then we have a massive crit damage and crit rate buff here, which is absolutely mental, because it means you basically don't have to give the character any crit inner kit at all, for the most part, if your cards are good. So that's actually pretty dope. Then we have some defense down here that actually works in World Boss Ultimate. That's nice. Stacks up to 30% for 10 seconds. Then we have the 5th skill, defense down again, that applies in World Boss Ultimate. Invincibility, attack buff, crit rate buff, debuff removal from herself. That is actually dope. Leadership, basic. Overall, looks on paper, looks good. Moving on, we have Guerrilla Man. Let's take a look at his tier 2 passive, Immortal Curse. Not bad. Increases guaranteed crit by 30%, decreases all damage received by 30%, enhances Ape Instincts. Okay, so since he's at tier 2, I can't check what it is at tier 1, but 50% more HP, that's dope. And let's see, the 1 skill, that's just a stun. Okay, stun again. Increases character size and all attack by 6%, all defense. Invincibility, that's good. So this is basically a skill you want to open with. Okay. 4th skill is not bad. It's not anything crazy, but it looks like I seen it in the live. It looks good when he has stun, so that might actually be cool. 5th skill is actually really dope. Removes all debuffs for 5 seconds, 15-second cooldown. So basically every 7.5 seconds, he's going to remove any debuffs on himself. Overall, I think he's going to be an above average combat character. Don't see him making a big impact in the overall game, but he may actually end up being pretty reliable. And in case you're wondering how you acquire this guy, location. It says find it in the shop, but I have checked and he's actually in some Shadowlands selectors. Okay, so keep that in mind. He's actually a free-to-play character, even though it says find it in the shop. That's what it says for basically any character. Like, for example, Thor. Actually, Thor has a story mission. Any character that doesn't have a story mission, let me find somebody like, I don't know, who's free-to-play, like Star-Lord. And you'll see for yourself, it says find it in the shop, right? So he's free-to-play, but it says find it in the shop. But that just means you can get him in Shadowlands selectors. Now, this guy right here, surprisingly, universal character. Wasn't expecting it, but I ain't mad at it. Slapstick is in the building. Unstable Fury, actually a dope tier 2 passive here. Increases all attacks by 30%, defense up. Oh my goodness, he's gonna be super fun to play. I can tell you guys that right now. The names on his skills are actually really funny, right? 1 skill looks pretty basic. 2 skill, penetration for super armor, barrier. Woo, wow, he can penetrate everything. That's dope. Okay, 3 skill is pretty basic. And for his 4-star passive, he actually revives at 50% HP. That's actually dope. 100% would be better if that was the case when he got to tier 2. But nonetheless, it's nice that he has a revive because he's supposed to be unkillable, right? And we got the 4th skill here. Defense down. It applies on World Boss. That's actually really good. Super armor, all defense, crit rate buff, all attack buff. That's dope. 4th skill looks really good. And then we have accumulation that he can keep up the majority of the time with 6 seconds of invincibility. Overall, he looks good. Leadership is lightning resist. As to be expected, he's a cartoon character, right? So it's kind of like rubbery, I guess. Kind of like Bugs Bunny type of deal where you smash them with a hammer, then they kind of bounce back like they're made out of rubber, right? Next, we're going to look at the 3 uniforms, right? This is just going to give you guys a general overview. We'll take a look at how the skills play out, and I'll give you guys my idea of a skill rotation for them later on. So for Cable, let's take a look at the uniform over here. I'm not sure why that lagged out like that. Anyways, so Plasma Shower. Check this out, boys. Look at the old uniform bonus. That was 10% chain hit. Look at the uniform bonus here. 30%. 30%, boys. That's 20% more. than the previous uniform. You're definitely going to notice something with Cable, okay? Now, 1 skill, pretty basic. The animation for it looks cool, though. 3 skill, pretty basic. Like, it's not basic, but it's to be expected. Cable had the accumulation before, and he had the healing before, so we're not really worried about that. But the 4th skill, though, check this out. My main man, Nate Dogg, he about to wreck some stuff. So 30% chain hit from the uniform. That's 20% more than he had before. Now he has defense down. That stacks all the way up to 55%, and he can basically keep this up all the time. Cable was already one of the highest DPSing characters in the game without defense down. Now he's looking even more godly than he's ever looked before. And I'm not even talking about the uniform looking godly. You dig? So let's actually jump over here and take a look at Lady Deadpool. No, she's not a character, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, right? She's a uniform for a made man Deadpool. Not sure why it's lagging out like this. Okay, there we go, boys. And now the uniform bonus is basically 10% guaranteed dodge added on to Deadpool's previous uniform bonus. You can see for yourself, right? The HP was already there. Now she has the HP plus guaranteed dodge, bumping up Deadpool's survivability for every single game mode. In addition to that, Deadpool now has one more skill that gives him defense down, stacks all the way up to 55%. So basically, perfect precision. Oh my goodness. The animation for this thing looks super freaking cool, and it now applies defense down. So now Deadpool has 4 skills that apply defense down. That is mental, okay? Moving on, we're trying to do this real quick, give you guys a general overview of how I feel about the uniforms. I can't lie to you guys, this one disappointed me the most. I want to say she got the saber-tooth treatment, but she actually probably got worse. Or better. We'll have to wait and see just how much her damage increases. But she basically got Sabertooth's Tier 2 passive, Namor's Tier 2 passive as a uniform bonus. 30% chance to increase critical damage by 100%. That is very good. That's a part of the reason why Namor and Sabertooth do really good damage, even when they don't have defense down applied on the boss. Plus, she gets 15% chain hit. And this new skill right here gives her damage immunity. I honestly would have liked it if they went a little bit further, but the one thing that Domino was really lacking wasn't survivability, it was damage. Now, if the uniform bonus can give her a significant damage increase, which I will be testing on my own account when it goes live, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I don't know if this is a must buy, even though it looks absolutely stunning. Baby girl looks gorgeous. Moving on, the final character that I want to give you guys a look at that's getting a uniform is APOC Shakur, the legend himself. Okay, this guy, honestly, this one looked really good, but this one just brings back all the feels. He looks like an Egyptian god. You dig? Messiah complex, man. I'm telling you. Now, Marvel, this is a banger just by how it looks. However, check this out. Uniform bonus. Ignore defense is only really useful for new players who have bad comic cards, but they actually increase this guy's 4-star passive with it from 25 to 45% damage reduction, which is actually pretty damn good. All right, so that's actually a pretty good change here, but that's not all that APOC is getting. The summons that were on his 5th skill are now on his 2 skill. Moving on, as you can see right here, he has damage immunity on the 3rd skill now, which is good, right? So that's going to bump up his survivability even more. 4th skill, hello. You can see for yourself the heal. But, my friends, you can move around with this. And you have defense down that applies in World Boss Ultimate. You also have mind control, because in case you didn't know, Apocalypse has telepathy. Okay? So, yeah. This is looking like a must buy. Don't know the price of it yet, because I got it on the account when I came in, but it might be as expensive as Thanos. We'll just have to wait and see. You can see it starts off at normal at 20%, which means when you get it up to Mythic, it's probably going to be 35%, so it might be a Jean Grey Thanos level uniform. Actually, was Jean Grey's uniform the same level as Thanos in terms of price? I can't remember. I usually just buy these uniforms so quick now. Anyways, now we have invincibility on his 5th skill, which is pretty dope considering, what we just seen on the 4th skill. Boys, it's been a lengthy video. I wanted to make it under 15 minutes, but unfortunately, it's been quite a bit already. So let me know how you guys are feeling in regards to the new changes or new additions to World Boss Ultimate and the new CTPs. I will do a follow-up video giving you guys a first look at all the skills and how they animate. So stay tuned for that. As always, thank you guys so much for all the love, all the support. And yeah, let me know how you're feeling in the comment section. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay safe. Peace.